Hey peeps! OMG, like my sign? You're like really pretty. Love my sign. Love my sign. Oh, and this portrait was painted by one of my good friends. He used to be a really good friend of my son. So I love supporting him. I never knew he used to be an artist until recently, the last couple years. So love, love, love. Anyways, I just feel like I need to sit here and talk to you guys today. Like, I have so much on my chest that I need to talk about. And so I said, hey, this is Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling it. Wisdom Wednesday. So people ask me all the time, have you always had this much confidence? Have you always not cared what people thought? Have you always been this way? And guys, honest to God, no. No. And I'm going to share with you a little bit. Back with my first marriage, my first husband, he ended up being a very abusive person, a very bad temper. And it wasn't until I was getting out of that marriage that it made me realize that I felt like I was lower than the dirt in the gutter, because that's how I finally left that marriage. I left that marriage while I was married to him. And I'm sure, guys, to this day, maybe he's a good person now. Maybe he's a nice person now. You know, some people just don't mix. Some people are like oil and water. They just should never be together. It's not a good mixture. And maybe his new wife, he's great with. I don't know, you know, but I just know that while we were together, it was not good. And it was 7 years of not good. And when I left that marriage feeling so low. He made me feel so, and yes, I allowed him to make me feel that way. But I felt so low that I felt like I wasn't even allowed to breathe the same air y'all breathed. Like, I'm not worthy. And it took me years of counseling to make me realize that I was worthy. But that just tells you, when you're in a verbal and physical relationship like that, and it's so abusive, words can actually harm you almost worse than an actual punch to the face, because the bruise will end up going away, but those words somehow like slice into you, and you never forget what someone says. And I'll never forget, it took me years of counseling to be able to feel like I was worthy of just breathing the same air that y'all breathed. And also during that time, while I was going through that divorce and everything, I was also an aerobics instructor. And I'll never forget, this woman always came to my class, and she always left my class complaining. And I got so upset that I was just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is she always complaining to me? Like, I'm going to lose my job if she doesn't quit complaining. Like, and finally my boss had to tell me one day, he said, you know, quit worrying about her. He said, you've got 100 people in your class. She is 1 out of 100. You are concentrating so much on what she thinks and what she feels that you're forgetting you have 99 other people in this class. He said, so I need you to stop. Quit worrying about her. She's either going to quit complaining and go away, or she's going to end up liking you someday. I don't know, but quit worrying about it. And at the time, I was like, oh, I don't understand what he's trying to tell me. This woman's driving me crazy. I'm teaching the best classes. My classes are packed all the time. Like, why doesn't this woman like me? And he said, it's a personality conflict. You could stand on your head, blow bubbles out your nose, fart, and sing at a high-pitched tone, and she's never going to like you, Teresa. It's a personality conflict. And you know what? Those were probably the best words ever spoken to me. I was like 24 at the time. 24 turning 25. And those were and to this day, those words are so true. And I try to repeat these words to anybody that will listen, because they were so true. So guess what? I started ignoring her and started paying more attention to the other 99 people in my class. And guess what? We ended up becoming friends. And I actually ended up becoming her neighbor. We ended up buying the house next to hers, and we ended up becoming great friends. But it's just weird. Like, I was letting her get the best of me, and my boss had to be the person to tell me, stop. And so you're like, well, where does that relate to today? Well, today, let's fast forward now 30 years. Back then, we didn't have social media. Like, there was no such thing as social media, okay? Now we have to deal with social media. Now we have to deal with the haters and the rude comments and all of this negativity that comes flying at you at such a high rate of speed. And you're like, whoa, whoa. And I'll never forget another story. It was 2010. I was Mrs. Texas. And my business partner at the time, her and I had written a book together. And we were getting ready to go out on book tour. And I remember her husband, who now they're divorced now, they're not together anymore, but her husband at the time sat her and I down one night and said, you two better get some real thick skin. And I said, why? What are you talking about? Why do I need thick skin? And he's like, because both of you are beautiful women, you're highly accomplished women, and you're being pushed out there into the public now with this new book on your book tours and doing everything. She was Mrs. Texas, you're the current Mrs. Texas. Like, there's going to be jealous people. They're going to come after you. They're going to hate on you. And you guys need to have very thick skin in order to deal with these hateful comments that are going to be coming your way. And I'll never forget that. I was like, why are they going to hate me? I haven't done anything wrong. Why would they hate me? You know, but sure enough, boy, oh boy, social media, you know, you put yourself out there, and what happens? They come at you. Like, there's no reason to come at me. Like, I didn't do anything wrong, but they were coming at me like, oh, you're too old to be a Mrs. Texas. Who do you think you are? I mean, you know, the book that we wrote together was called Nude, Unveiling Your Inner Beauty and Sensuality. And there's some really, I don't want to say risque pictures in there, but, you know, both of us were in amazing shape, amazing bodies. You know, we're in these little lingerie outfits and big oversized white shirts and revealing a little bit of skin. And oh my God, the haters came out and came at us, you know. But I was like, I remembered what he said. Whatever they're thinking about you is not going to change your world, Teresa. Get some thick skin. And so you're saying, what does all this mean? Like, where are you going with this, Teresa? Well, like I said, I get people coming at me all the time, and especially young kids. Especially young kids coming at me all the time saying, I don't know how to handle all of these hateful comments, and this really upsets me, and it makes me want to sit in my room and cry, and this, and I'm like, how do you tell these young kids to quit worrying about being accepted? You don't need to be accepted. But social media's got us there, guys. Social media, how many people get worried about how many likes do I have on my post? How many negative comments do I have on my post? Oh my God, how many views do I have on my YouTube video? Just today, I woke up to a very rude comment. The comment said, heard that you'd been canceled. Had to get on here myself to see that it's true. According to the views, or the lack of views, it must be true. Sorry, you're canceled, or something like that. And I was like, what? What? First of all, I don't care what you think, whoever that was. Delete. Bye-bye. Because I don't live for people's approvals. I don't. I don't live for their approval. Yes, do I love my fans? Yes. Do I love my followers? Yes. Do I enjoy what I do on social media and putting my life out there? Yes. But you know what? When it comes to the end of the day, whether I am successful or not, or whether I proceed to go on, or whether I stop, or whatever, none of that is going to be determined by whether I think I'm liked or disliked or approved of or disapproved of or whatever. It does not matter to me. I do what I want to do. And whether somebody doesn't like it or does like it, I don't care. I'm putting me out there. I'm doing. You remember the old saying, "Just do you, boo." Just do you. Sorry, this is not sponsored, but should be. I love these drinks, guys. So basically, I'm trying to help people on social media too. Even my trainer, she's got a neighbor that doesn't like her, and he's constantly going after her. And she's like, I just want him to like me, Teresa. And I'm like, he's never going to like you. It's okay. Just live your best life. You know, quit trying. Why are we so hell-bent on trying to get people's approval? Why? I think it's gotten worse over the years. And believe me, I was that 24-year-old girl trying to get that girl to like me in my aerobics class. But I guess if I could say one thing, it's kind of like, I guess with age comes wisdom. And the older you get, the more likely you are to not care anymore what people think. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference in your world. Because tonight, I'm still going to go to dinner with my husband. I'm still going to run into friends. I'm still going to have my cocktail. I'm still going to have my YouTube video go up. Am I going to sit there all night long wondering, oh, how many views am I going to get? Oh my God, how many negative comments am I going to get? I don't care. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I did a video about what I wanted to do a video about. And whether it's watched or not watched, I got it out there and I said what I needed to say. And I gave my advice. And whether people like it or don't like it, whether you're Miss America, you know, I mean, how many beauty pageants have you ever watched? And people are automatically disliking the new Miss America because, oh, I don't like how her hair looks. I don't like her. I'm not going to follow her. I mean, like, it gets so out of control, guys, that I have to stand back and laugh sometimes. When you really take yourself back and just really watch and see how people react to things, it makes you laugh, actually. At the end of the day, do you think Miss America really gives a rat's ass whether you like her or don't like her? Guess what? She won the competition. The judges voted for her. So whether you don't like her or do like her, it doesn't make any difference. And it was just like me, going out on book tour with my best friend at the time, my business partner. It didn't matter whether you liked me or didn't like me. I don't care if you liked what I put in my book. Guess what? I wrote the book. Her and I wrote the book. I've since wrote 2 more. I'm doing my 4th one. I don't look for people's approval when I set out to do something. I do it because I want to do it. And I'm going to do it. I have a social media presence. That's all I care about. I'm one of many millions of people. I'm not the only one out there. I'm out there with millions of people, and I have to, I don't want to say fight for time, but just like me and just like millions of people, we're all out there trying to catch someone's attention with their post or their video or their this or their that. It's no different of when I write a book. I'm trying to catch your attention. Go buy my new book that's out, you know. How many people produce books every single year? You know, we're all fighting for a place on this earth. And the last thing you should have to worry about is someone's approval. The only person you need to worry about making sure you have their approval is the man above. He's the only one that counts, really. Honest to God. At the end of the day, he's the only one that counts on whether you have to be approved or not. So, I'm trying to get my message out there today, guys, and bring my wisdom to the table. And if I can help anyone that's going through a bad time, you know, I mean, like, it seems like the suicide rate with youngsters is on the rise because they just don't understand why they're not being accepted. And the sooner we can get it through their heads that you don't have to be approved of, you don't have to be accepted. Just get out there and do you, boo. Just get out there and do you. Live your life. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. You don't have to do what other people want you to do for them to be happy. Because in the long run, what are you going to do? You're going to do what they want you to do, and you're going to be unhappy doing it because that's not what you wanted to do. And I've done my share of that crap in my life too. I've done all kinds of things because I thought that's what everybody else wants me to do, and I didn't have any fun doing it. So I felt like it was a waste of my time because my heart and soul wasn't in it. But I was doing it because I thought that's what everybody wanted me to do. Wrong. Do you. Do what makes you happy. Remember, you have one life on this earth. You have to make sure it counts. And it only counts if you're happy. So quit wanting everyone's approval. Just get out there and do you. Do you. On that note, I do me all the time, right? I do my own thing all the time. So guess what? Y'all know that we brought back Fashion Woodlands this December, last December. We had put it on the shelf for a while. I was busy with so many other things in life. My heart wasn't in it. And my heart got back into it this past year. Full force. I'm back in like no tomorrow. And so we brought back Fashion Woodlands last December, December 2nd. And it was a smashing hit. We sold out. And we're doing it again this year. But there's going to be another twist this year. So here in Houston, we have a thing called Houston's Best Dressed. And it's connected to the March of Dimes. And it's connected to Neiman Marcus. And so many women have always wanted to be on that list. And I don't know if there's 12 women or how many. I can't remember. I don't really care. But somewhere, I think there's like 12 women every year picked. My stylist, even from Neiman Marcus, still has not figured out how you get chosen to be on this list. He's like, Teresa, it's not for the amount of money that you spend at Neiman Marcus, because if it was, you'd be right there. It's not all about philanthropy, because if it was, you'd be right there. So he's like, I don't know. I don't know how people get nominated. I don't know how you get on the list. And I'm like, well, I could care less. I just was inquiring because there are so many people, so many women, beautiful women out there that deserve to be recognized for their style and for their fashion. There's women out there that might live in the 5th or 3rd wards, and they come from a very abusive relationship, and their life at home might be just horrible and pitiful. But they get up every day and they put their best foot forward and they dress their finest like they're going to church every day. And they have some style. And do you think they ever get recognized? No. So last year when I was coming up with Fashion Woodlands again and we were putting it all together, I had this epiphany and I said, we can't do Houston's Best Dressed because that's already taken with the March of Dimes and Neiman Marcus and everything. But I'm like, how can we recognize these best dressed women in this city? So we have come up with Houston style icons. Kind of a different phrase for best dressed. But anyways, we can't use best dressed. So we have now come up with Houston style icons. It is our way of paying recognition to beautiful people out there, men and women. It don't have to just be women. So unlike the March of Dimes, Neiman Marcus, Best Dressed, it can be men too. So we're going to recognize men or women. It is called Houston Style Icons. Okay? So it is going to be connected with Fashion Woodlands. This is kind of like we're coming up with the kind of the rules, the eligibility, the rules, so on and so forth. But yeah, this is going to be fun, guys, and it's going to be online. Yes, this is going to be so fun. You will be able to either nominate yourself or nominate someone else, and there's going to be an eligibility that you have to be a resident of Houston or have some kind of significant affiliation with the city. Because once you win, you are going to be called the Houston Style Icon, you know. But anyways, we're going to have fun with this, because the winner or winners, we're working all through this right now, but the winner or winners will walk during the Fashion Woodlands Fashion Show. And we're still working out the location of the Fashion Woodlands Fashion Show, trying to decide if I'm going to keep it in the Woodlands or if this year Fashion Woodlands is going to take over Houston. And we're looking at some venues in Houston. So you know me, I'm always working, I'm always coming up with everything, I'm always coming up with new ideas, new this, and guess what? I don't need people's approval. I'm just going to do me, boo. I'm just doing me. And I do what Teresa likes to do. I do what Teresa loves to do. I do things that I'm passionate about. I do things that I have fun doing, regardless of what people think or say or whatever. You just have to wake up every day and say, I'm going to do me today. I'm going to live my best life. So stay tuned, because next week I have a meeting with my web designer so that we can add the Fashion Woodlands stuff into my website, so that there'll be a tab for it. And then of course the Houston Style Icons is going to have another tab so that you'll be able to enter and register and be a part of this. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. I truly want to recognize beautiful people in Houston, and I don't want it to be tied to just how deep their pocketbooks are, or who they're affiliated with, or who they run in circles with, or any of that political bull crap. I want it to be based off of the person, their personality, yes, what they tend to do, I want to recognize what people are doing. I want to bring attention to the good of people, but I also want to bring the attention to how stylish. I mean, like, I can count 10 people right now that I personally know that are so stylish, and every time I see them, they're just drop dead, put together, amazing, but they don't stand a chance in hell of ever being part of this Houston's Best Dressed. And so I'm like, well, everybody knows me. I'm a fashionista. I'm all about fashion. And so if I need to start something new here in Houston and make it so amazing and big, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So pay attention, stay tuned, because we will be making announcements on here on how to navigate this and get into it. And because I know some of you are going, I wanna nominate myself, or I got a friend that needs nominated. Yes, let me put them in there. Yeah. So it's gonna be fun. So anyways, I hope you guys got today's message, because today's message was all about you. It's all about you. Start doing you, boo, and quit worrying about everybody else. Quit worrying about them. They don't count. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, are they paying your bills? Are they taking care of you? Should they have any say-so in your life? No. No. This is like my daughter. You know, do I really let her control me? No. I just do me. And whether she approves or disapproves, that's on her. She gets to live her life. I get to live my life. Same with my husband, you know. I don't tell my husband what to do. He does himself. I give him some of my advice. It can go in one ear and out the other, or he can listen to me, you know. But him and I are united. We are one. And so we try to respect each other and you know, help each other in that area. So anyways, I'm not going to keep babbling on and on. I just wanted to get on here and tell you what my message was. And my message is, just do you, boo. Quit wasting time trying to get people's approval. Quit wasting time trying to get people's acceptance, because sometimes you're never going to get it, and it's okay. Because you will hang around the people eventually that do care about you and who do accept you and love you for just who you are. They wouldn't change a thing. And by the way, we do have an Instagram page we have started for Houston Style Icons. So run over there and start following us. We don't have anything really up there yet, but we want you to start following us so that you can be aware of when we're going to be putting stuff up there. It's called Houston Style Icons by Teresa Romer. So run over there. We're going to flash that up here again so you can see it. Houston Style Icons by Teresa Romer. Run over there and start following us because you're not going to want to miss when we start posting in there. So with that said, guys, I hope you look forward to Friday's video all about fashion. And for now, we're going to get off here. You're like really pretty. I don't need people to tell me how ugly I am or how pretty I am. I know. I just know. That's all you need to worry about. So with that said, until next time, bye-bye.